Welcome to Web Design Feedback. My name is Ryan, and in this series, each episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take one industry and a website at random from that industry and provide feedback from the point of view of a web designer and a digital marketer. Now, the purpose of these videos is to provide business owners, entrepreneurs, and marketers the tools to improve the website and make the website work for them, so that way they can generate leads and sales directly through their website. So today we picked the Lerman Law Group, and before I dive into the feedback, I just want to point out a few things that I think they did really well, and then we'll dive into the feedback. So the first thing is I noticed the copy is written really well, no grammatical errors, no misspellings, anything like that. And you'd be surprised. I've worked with business owners that have relatively large companies, and sometimes they would write the content themselves, and I imagine sometimes they would probably do it on their cell phones, because I would see certain typo mistakes, auto corrections, and they would send it over. And of course, we would edit the copy for them and make it professional. But that's something to know here, that I think it's written really well, which is not a surprise, especially with the field that they are in. This website is also custom built using PHP, which can have its drawbacks. So diving into the feedback, with one of the huge drawbacks of a custom built website, as opposed to having a, let's say, custom built but on a platform such as WordPress, is you're missing a lot of the SEO tools. So if it's custom built using PHP, well, every single SEO tool that you would need a custom built. So that's a huge drawback. So I would personally have this website on a platform such as WordPress, or one where you have more access to SEO tools. And we can see that if we click into the other pages here, notice how the title doesn't change. So the title is the same across the whole website. And what that does is, if let's say somebody is searching for something in one of your where your inner page, one of your inner pages solves that problem, and that's in the search results, but the title and description is very generic, it doesn't actually match what that page is about, then that person is going to click on one of your competitors, and click-throughs are one of the ranking factors in Google. So what that means is, if somebody is consistently clicking on one of your competitors, well, your competitor is going to move up in the search result rankings, and as a result, your search ranking will lower. As far as the design of this website, I think it could. There's definitely room to improve. This design does look a little bit dated. The first thing that I've noticed is that the Adobe Flash Player is blocked, and by default, Chrome blocks it for security purposes, because that's one way that they were getting the computers hacked. So switching this to a slider or a video where it's supported across all devices and web browsers, I think would be very beneficial. I also noticed that there's no call to actions on this website. So if you need to get in touch with them, you would click on Contact Us, and then on the mobile devices, you would probably try to tap the on the phone number, but that doesn't actually open any prompts. So let me show you a website. So this is a website that we did. Notice how, so if it's on a mobile device, this is how it looks like. See how there's a very clear call to action. If you tap it on your phone, it will actually open a dialogue that allows you to call that number directly without having to punch it in. So having that tap to call feature and having a strong call to action, I think will go a long way for this website. I also noticed that the logo looks a little bit blurry, and even the guys that design their website, their logo is a little bit blurry as well, especially if they're on a mobile device or an iPad that's Retina display, which all of the modern ones are. It becomes blurrier. So you really don't want your logo, your branding to be blurry. You want to stay sharp. And as an example, if we zoom in here, notice how the logo stays sharp. If we zoom in here, notice how the logo stays sharp. And the reason for that is because these are done as vector graphics. So what I would do is have this logo vectorized, so that way it maintains the quality. Also notice over here, it's the generic fave icon or favicon. And it's not a huge deal, but if they're doing research and they have 5, 10 different tabs open with your competitors, well, the one that has an icon that's reflective of what the business is about, that's who's going to stand out. So you want to stand out from your competition, and having something as simple as a fave icon would help with that. Now, as far as with the on the SEO side, now we're diving into some of the digital marketing aspects. As I mentioned, I think if this website was on WordPress, it would go a long ways as far as helping with the SEO, because if it was on WordPress, we can easily change this, have the title and also the description that shows up on the search results match what the page is about, and we also have opportunity to put keywords in there. I would probably have more pages on this website, and pages that are reflective of what people are searching for. So perhaps having, let's say, some cities, West Los Angeles, Santa Monica. So let's say we have a page an area that says areas served, and we have a page that says Santa Monica. If we click on that page, we want the heading, the title to say Santa Monica Law Firm, so that way when somebody searches for that page will show up in the search results. Now, I've put their website into this tool called Ahrefs, and I noticed that there's no backlinks, there's no keywords that are indexed. Now, there might be a few backlinks, or maybe there's a few keywords that are on page 8, 9. If that's the case, it wouldn't really show up in this tool. This tool, typically they'll pull the first several pages, but I mean these days nobody really goes past, most people stay on the first page of the search results. Let me show you a website that we did not build the website, so we did the SEO for the website. If we look over here, notice how over here there's 6,000 backlinks, 88 domain names, and 112 keywords. So what we do is we typically get backlinks from media outlets through press releases, and what that does is it gets really high quality, high authority backlinks, and all of this is white hat SEO. So you're not going to run into the problem where as opposed to, let's say, having a bunch of spammy blog comments or forum post backlinks. Sometimes when Google changes the algorithm, you lose your rankings. So none of that stuff happens. All of these are reputable media outlets as backlinks. If you go back to the keywords here, notice how if we sort by position, all of these keywords have a very high search intent, and there are also all these pages where in the permalinks it's very descriptive. So for example, business opportunity seekers leads, and this is business opportunity seeker sales leads, 5K leads. So that's something that I would want for the Learning Law Group, to have more of these content pages where they have keywords built into it, so that way they can expand their visibility on search engines. And lastly, while this website is mobile friendly, it's not very touch friendly, in the sense that if let's say they click onto here, all these different items, they're very tightly packed together, so it's very easy to tap on the wrong item, and it's very easy to fix this. We would just either make the font size just a little bit bigger and increase the spacing between each of the items, and that will make for a far better user experience on mobile devices. And in terms of the legibility, most of the people that are hiring law firms, they typically are on the older side, so having the typeface a little bit bigger so it's more legible for them, I think will go a long way as well. Typically you want it to be legible from 1.5 to 2 feet of distance. You still want to be able to easily read the text from this distance. So that's pretty much it in terms of the feedback for the Learning Law Group. Hopefully you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, comments, or if you need help with your website design or your digital marketing, feel free to reach out to me through YouTube, and I will be happy to help. That said, I will see you in the next video.